Good afternoon, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 232. It is a Saturday afternoon. What a gorgeous day outside. Just a few clouds in the sky, warm outside, very pleasant, light breeze, 86 degrees outside. And this is going to be one of the last days before we have some rain moving in. So I took a little bit of time today to burn some leaves that were in the backyard. We have like a creek that goes through the backyard, and it gets kind of overgrown in the summertime. So we take all the leaves and dump it on top of all the weeds and grass and things there and burn it, and it clears everything out, and that way it can flow more clearly. So I took care of that today. And this afternoon, one of my kids has got a game. This morning, one of my kids had a run. So a lot of stuff going on, and I have an offer to go pick up some free play. It's not going to be much, but I figured this would be a good way to get out of the house a little bit. We have a shot at making some money, and we'll see what happens. So I could have picked it up today or tomorrow, but it's kind of out of the way for tomorrow's trip, so decided to go take care of it now. A lot of stuff going on right now. Just some brief updates here. Looks like we're going to be going on a trip out west. Looks like October, most likely 13th to the 16th. And found a flight that's round trip for just over $100. That's insane. So probably be doing that. The flight hours aren't the best. We'd be leaving like on a Sunday night, coming back on a Thursday morning. But still, I think that's still pretty good. So that weekend, we will probably travel on Saturday, and then we'll be at home with the family all day Sunday, and then fly Sunday night, and then probably play throughout the night Sunday into early Monday morning, and then get a hotel Monday morning. That way, that'll save us one night of paying for a hotel. Get a rental car. And there's a lot of casinos in that area, so I'm excited about that. Also, looks like we're going to go ahead and order the shed for our house probably this week. We're going to have some people over to the house tomorrow, which is Sunday, to look at the backyard. We're going to get probably a truckload of gravel, and then we're going to probably put some concrete, like concrete blocks kind of on the outside, so it's raised up off the ground a little bit, so it stays nice and dry. And then we'll put the shed there. It'll be like a 12 by 16 foot shed, which is just under the limit before you have to get a foundation. 8 square feet below the limit before you have to have a foundation, so we get around that. And I talked to my Amish friend, who so far has made like a hall tree closet type thing for us. 2 bedrooms of furniture with a couple beds in each. A big kitchen island, some end tables, a coffee table, a giant couch, and recliner. I mean, all kinds of stuff from them. And I told them that we're ready to order our kitchen cabinets as well, so we're going to have that on order. He will have someone out next Friday to do the measure, and then we'll set everything in stone. I'll give him the deposit for that, and they do give a discount for cash, so I'll be giving him between a $9,000 and $10,000 deposit for that, and that'll just be the cabinets. We'll still have to pay for the countertops, backsplashes, all that kind of stuff as well. So a lot of stuff happening here. So right now we're going to head off to this casino, and I'll come back and let you know how it went. Alright guys, I am back, and that was pretty eventful, actually, very unexpected. I'll tell you a bunch of stuff that happened there. For one thing, I saw a friend who I hadn't seen for a long time. I walked around looking, couldn't find anything to play. There was one machine, there was 3 machines I never got to at all, and I usually find plays, but people were sitting on them the whole time, couldn't get to them at all. And there was one machine that I thought there would be a play on, that a guy was on, and I was waiting for him to leave. Finally, he leaves, and I go over there, and a friend of mine is playing it. So I don't know how he did. He had like 1,100 in the machine, but I don't know if he was up or down. But so I start talking to my friend, and one thing about this culture, I don't know what you want to call it. One thing about this group of people who do what we do is they have totally different lives and different problems than anyone else. I mean, nobody cares, right? Nobody cares about you if you have money, if you don't have money. A lot of us care about each other greatly, and we want to help each other out, and we stick together, and we listen to each other's stories, and we sympathize and empathize and everything else with each other, and we try to be there for each other and help each other out. Otherwise, the other group of people who do what we do are a bunch of scumbags who are going to blow their money on drugs. They're going to blow their money on stupid stuff, and they're going to make money, and then they're going to blow it on stuff that doesn't make sense. But for the group of us who care about each other and stuff, listening to someone else's story is so cool, because if I was going to tell someone, I won X amount, then I lost X amount, they'd be like, you're a gambler. You have a problem. You're this, you're that. They don't understand what we do. They don't understand the math. All they understand is someone told me, if you do this, you're this. And they put you in this like grouping of something that we're totally not, but they don't understand, right? So a friend of mine, and started talking to him, and I told him, look, I only have these couple casinos left because of these problems I've been having. And he's like, oh, speaking of that casino, I had a problem there too. And I'm like, what? Tell me what happened. And he told me that he was in that city, and he was there to play this game, and he was only there because someone owed him money, and that person called him up and told him a machine was in range, and he drove all the way there, like over 4 hours, and finally got there. The machine was $90 a spin. Sound familiar? And so he played it through and ended up ahead like $9,000. So that part is good, right? And then he's like, and then there was this other game, and it had an uncapped jackpot on there, but it's supposed to hit between this range and this range, but it's uncapped, so it could go on higher. And he lost all the profit plus $6,000 more on that one, chasing $1,000. That is just sickening, totally sickening. And he's done some crazy things before in the past and gone nuts. We all have, right? Well, okay, it's supposed to hit, and then when it doesn't, we're like, darn it, and we play it like a few spins longer, sometimes more than that, and then hoping it'll get back in position, and then we wasted some money. But sometimes he'll go a little overboard. But it was him and his girlfriend and this guy, and so between everybody that he was with, they all ended up making like $27,000, and he ended up down $6,000 after all this. And he'd had a few beers, and then he was on his way home. They'd been up all night. He had his contacts in overnight. His eyes were red. He was tired. He was driving through this area, and he saw police lights behind him, and he's like, well, let me just get up in front of this truck before I pull over. And he got up in front of the truck, and the cops didn't like that, so one of them pulled him over, pulled him out of the car, smelled alcohol on his girlfriend's breath, not his breath, asked him to take a breathalyzer. He said no, which you're supposed to. You're supposed to be taken to jail. You're not supposed to do, because monster drinks, by the way, if you look it up, they can cause it to show up. Obviously all the other generic things that you've heard before can cause it to happen. But anyway, he said no. They took him to the station. They did a blood test on him, and it came up all zeros. They said, okay, well, you're free to go. Well, he's like, well, what do you mean I'm free to go? Where's my car? Oh, we impounded your car. It's $350 to get it back. His girlfriend had to get a hotel room overnight, paid $100 for that, all this trouble. Then he had to pay the hotel guy to come pick him up from jail and take him to his car. And then they wanted to pick up the car, and they wouldn't give him the car because the car was in his mom's name. They were in the process of transferring it into his name, but they hadn't quite done it yet. And so he ended up paying all this money out of pocket for something that he didn't do anything wrong. He did what he's supposed to do, which is refuse the breathalyzer, and lost $6,000 on the trip on top of that. So he was telling me about that. And so we talked for a little while, and he's sorry to hear that all the trouble I've been having lately with all these places, but luckily we've done pretty well. I mean, overall we've done really well. A friend of mine who's on a private Discord channel that we have, just a few of us, he asked me, he's like, how have you done in the last 30, 60, 90 days? And I'm like, I don't know, I can guess, but I'm not really sure. So in the last 30 days, so these are not calendar months, this is just days, the last 30 days from yesterday, between slots and blackjack and poker, I won 24,000. In the last 30 days prior to that, I won 24,000, and 30 days before that, I won 24,000. We've had 3 really good months and moving in the right direction. And by the way, my EV in blackjack is like 100, 125, somewhere in there. It's not that high the way that I play it. But my AV, my actual value for the last 3 months, this last 30 days, I'm averaging $612 an hour. The 30 days before that, $302 an hour, and the 30 days before that, $595 an hour. So, been very, very fortunate, but still running almost 18,000 behind pace of where I need to be. I'm running at like 90.5% of where I need to be at this time of the year, and it's still frustrating. It's like I went down a certain amount of money, and I've been off my goal by that dollar amount almost the whole year. Anyway, how did I do in there? Well, interestingly enough, I only played one machine because I had a little bit of free play, and I found nothing to run it through, and I ended up ahead $25. But I had this card, and this card gives you free play also. And instead of free play, I got a special bonus where I got to pick something. So I said, okay, well, this happened once before, and my wife was with me. We won like 200, which was the minimum. And we ended up running it through just some machine because she wanted to, we wanted to enjoy it together. Let's just say there was no more AP machines. We ended up losing pretty much all of it. But this time, the thing that I picked gave me $500 cash, but they had me fill out a W-9, and I'm like, you guys have all this stuff on me, but whatever. So I ended up getting $500 in cash plus $24 on the slots. So I ended up ahead $524. So that's all good. Right now, we are heading to my kids' game. We're going to watch that and then head home and hopefully have a pleasant night tonight, and I'll be back to update you either tonight or tomorrow afternoon. Alright guys, I am back. It is Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. Just leaving home, heading out to our first casino, at least, for the day. Looking at a minimum 4-hour drive, so it's going to be a long one, definitely. Right now, today, it's been a really nice day. It's a little bit cloudy, but still nice. 88 degrees outside, and a little bit humid. It rained for a few minutes last night. My son and I were using that new lawn sweeper that we bought, picking up leaves and, burning them and all that kind of stuff in that ditch that I talked about. And we've had that thing, we probably used it 5 or 6 times, and a piece of it already broke off. So it looked like a really good thing, and it looked like it was working fine, but it's not as strong as we thought. So we just got to be really careful with those things from now on. We're going to try to call the 800 number that comes with it and see if we can get it fixed. If not, then we're probably just going to return it and probably get a different model, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, today's going to be let me think here, probably 2 sessions of blackjack, at least 1, probably 2, if we can get there early enough, and then hopefully at least 1 session of poker, and then we're going to try to hit at least another casino if we have the strength, if it's early enough, and try to get another session of blackjack, some more slots in, and so on. So that's what's going on right now. You're all caught up, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back, and I am starting to finally get close to our first casino of the day, 18 miles away from that casino, and the temperature has dropped drastically. So we were at about 88 degrees, now we're at 72, and it looks like some rain has gone through here. It looks like it's going to rain again, but the radar says that the rain is pretty much over, so it should be okay. But I do welcome the lower temperatures. But right now, timing-wise, we're in really good shape. I feel like we could probably get some blackjack in, and then just go play poker after that. And then whenever we finish playing poker, it'll definitely be the next shift. We'll go play some more blackjack, and then figure out what we're going to do from there. So that's what I feel like we're going to do right now. Blackjack, poker, blackjack, and I don't know if I said that right the first time, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. I'm also feeling like I'm probably going to go to a casino I'm not allowed to go to anymore and see what happens if I do. I have not been specifically trespassed from there, just backed off and walked out by security, but I think I'm probably going to be okay. I'll probably go in there, just play a little bit of slots first, no blackjack, and see if I can get away with it on that shift a few times, and then if I do, then probably go from there and try to play blackjack after that. So that's what's going on right now. You're all caught up, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back, and now I have some decisions to make. I did go to this casino. I did play. It is much later now. I was in there over 3 hours plus, and I need to make a decision about what to do next. For one thing, I'm going to go find something to eat, and then we'll figure that out. Excuse me. So I go in, looking around, can't find a table to play. Finally find a game. At this point, I haven't played any slots yet or anything. All I see, I'm looking around, can't find anything. I go to machine after machine after machine. I see 3 cents, 3 cents, 3 cents, if you know what I mean. Some of you do. And I know it's not going to be my night tonight. So finally I find a table to play. I play that one and just crushed it right away. Not right away, but a pretty reasonable time. I think the most I was down was about 100, maybe 200, something like that. And crushed that one for a profit of $992. $992. And then I'm looking around for more things to play, slots, things like that. Find a couple small slots. I'm ahead like pennies at this point on the slots. Just not finding anything. So I decide to go look at poker. Go to the poker area, and I guess it's pretty rare for me not to give a lot of details about blackjack, because usually I just get crushed on blackjack and then have to dig and dig and dig and work hard and hope, and eventually things turn around and I end up with some kind of a profit. But it's kind of weird not to complain too much about it. So anyway, I go to the poker room, and everything is pretty much full. So now I'm like, okay, I want to play pot limit Omaha. it's full. There's like 4 people in line. There's like 4 people on the phone who have called in. They're not here yet. And so I'm like, okay, what else can I play? I see a 1-3 game. I'm like, I can go to 1-3. I can go to 2-5. Both of them look like everyone on the list is on the phone, so it's possible that there's something open. So I said, is there 2-5 open? And he's like, no 2-5 open. I said, how about 1-3? And he's like, yeah, go ahead and get chips. I said, which table am I going to? He's like, go ahead and get chips. I'm like, fine. I go stand in line to get chips, and he goes, oh, okay, if you want, there is a 2-5 table open. I'm like, okay, where? And he's like, right there. There's 2 seats available at this table. How could he not have said, I had a seat for you? So I buy 600 in chips, or I take 600 in chips over, and I buy in for 200 and start playing. And immediately, first hand, I get ace queen. I end up winning a decent pot, like, profit of like $70 or so. Not a bad little start. And then about 5 or 10 minutes later, play my second hand and lose the whole stack all the way down to 0. And so I rebuy for 200 more. And now we go from 8 players to 7 to 6, and then play a little bit longer. I'm hanging around even on my second $200 buy-in, and we go to 5, and then we go to 4, and this guy's like, I don't want to play 4 people. I'm like, well, it's a bomb pot. Do you want to play the bomb pot at least? No, I don't want to play 4. And then there's 3 of us, so 2 of us are like, we'll play 3, and the other guy says, no, I don't want to play 3. So they call the floor over. They're going to put our names back on the list. I've only been on this table for half an hour. They're going to put our name back on the list, and then they're going to call us if something opens up. And I'm like, you guys are just a pain. Why would you want to wait hours and hours and hours? You got a table right here. You just change your betting style. You change your style based on how many players there are. That's all. I understand if you're a grinder, I guess, and you don't want to play, you don't want to pay the blinds, but come on, it's 1-3. It's not like, what do you want, 25 cent, 50 cent? So we all get up, and he goes, wait a minute, I got people coming. Okay, people are coming. So we all sit back down again, the 4 of us. And he sends a guy over. Now there's 5, and we're waiting for more players to come. And then they call me for the Pot Limit Omaha table. So I'm like, see you later, guys. And I'm like, I'm out of there. So I go to that table, and for the 2-5 table, I was down $222 when I got up. So I have, of my 600, I've got 378 left, right? So take the 378 over to the Pot Limit Omaha table, sit down, start playing. First couple hands, I'm just hanging around. I'm down like 40, 50 bucks, not much going on. Then I get an interesting hand. I know, let's see. Oh man, I know this isn't, okay, here it is. I know this isn't the best hand to play, but the guy who raised is the guy who's always raising no matter what. And then the guy to my right just has no clue what's going on. So I've got 4-6-6 queen, spades only. And we end up in a 3-way all-in hand where I win the main pot with a full house. The flop is 3-3, turn is a 6, and I win that one. Side pot is like 1,000, and then my portion, the main pot, is 1,090. So now I've got some ammo here, so I continue playing. Play for another 20 or 30 minutes. Not much happening anymore. A couple people bust out, and the table's kind of lame at that point. Not much going on. And I end up standing up on the Omaha ahead $630 on the Omaha, which means between the Omaha and I've got this wrong here somehow. I'm up 630, which makes no sense. 630, that means I had 1008. Yeah, that's right. Huh. Yeah. So 1 second here. Hopefully get over. So I end up between the two tables ahead $408. So I was ahead $992 plus another $408 here, which puts me at $1,400. And shift change happens and all that stuff, and I go back looking for blackjack to play and just cannot find a table to play. And I end up in the high limit room, 3 tables open. One has a guy betting 2 hands at $1,500, every hand with 100 on each side bet. Another one has a guy who's complaining, who's got 2 pit bosses standing there trying to work out whatever his problem is. And then I had 2 Asian ladies on the 3rd table who were both playing side bets, and then there was a $200 table which I'm not going to play. So I ended up not playing that, and then I stood around watching Baccarat for a while just to be hanging around waiting for something to open up. Maybe I can get a new shoe, someone gets up, something happens, but nothing was happening. I back counted the 2 Asian ladies for a while, but there was nothing. There is mid-shoe entry in the high limit room, which is nice at this place, but just couldn't get in. So I'm walking around, looking at slots again, and I'm seeing 3 cents, 3 cents again. I'm like, dude, you switch it out every once in a while. Don't make it so obvious. But I run into him again. I talked to this guy a couple times. I knew who it was doing that. And then I saw another guy. Guess who I saw? I saw Double Bubble. You remember Double Bubble? Have you been around for a while here? Double Bubble. And Double Bubble owed me some money. And he was playing crapless bubble craps. And I'm like, what are you thinking? He's got like $300 in the machine. And he's got pretty much, he has $300 available in the machine, other than what he's betting. And he's got like 6 numbers where he's got 20 on them. And then when he's hitting a number, he's raising it to 40 on each of those numbers. And then, of course, he hits a 7 and loses half his stack or more. And talked to him for a few minutes. And then he goes on this bad run, 7, 7, 7, 7. Then he switches machines, he gets 7, 7. And one of the slot attendants comes by, I guess they're friends, and he's talking to him. And I said to the slot attendant, just kidding around, I'm like, will you tell him to get up? This is not a game he should be playing. And he said, Double Bubble says, will you tell him to leave me alone? He's bad luck. I'm like, okay, I'm bad luck. So I walk away, and I run into him later on, and he's like, MW, how much do I owe you? And so I had no idea. He's owed me from like 2024. And I looked, and he owed me like a little over $200, and he gave me $100 toward it, which I'd completely forgotten about it. And if I hadn't moved my memos from my old phone to my new phone, I would have never even known how much he owed me. I had no clue if it was $40 or what it was. So he gave me $100 toward that. And then I did play another, and I ended up ahead $34 on that one. So overall ended up pretty good, like $14.34, and that was my wife calling me. So let me take that call, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. It is a couple hours later, and I just want to say that I feel very fortunate to be having the variance that I am right now, especially since I only have a few places that I can visit right now. So I feel very fortunate that I'm still making money and not falling further behind where I want to be. That being said, frustration is still there. I don't have a solid plan other than we're going to be playing poker, other than we are going to be traveling. But I do think that I'm at the point now where I can travel once a month, and my wife's going to hate it, my kids are going to hate it, my family's going to hate it, but I don't have a choice anymore. So I'm going to try to commit to travel once a month, different areas of the country. If I can find a sweet spot somewhere, then maybe I'll visit there more often. I do want to try to fly places if possible, because everything within, I'd say, probably 6 plus hours of here, pretty much almost exhausted. So I can go into places, I can make 50, 100, 200, and there are a few casinos I can make 1,000 in a day. But other than that, it's almost not worth the travel. I'm estimating my travel, luckily, because I'm getting fuel at cheaper places, because my car is okay efficient on fuel. I'm probably paying about $75 a day to travel right now, and we're traveling about 5 days a week, so $375 a week in fuel. That can get pretty expensive. So we're spending $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month to drive places, and so now we're going to be adding flights, we're going to be adding hotels, we're going to be adding rental cars. So if I can find a sweet spot area where I can visit kind of often, maybe more than once a month, maybe it's possible to drive there, I'm not really sure. I'm going to try to do that as well and exhaust that area. And then after that, it'll just be like everybody else. Every once in a while, go somewhere and try to hit them hard, bet the bigger amounts, get into all the systems, and do all the things that everyone else is doing that I really don't want to do. But that's what it's going to come down to eventually. Tomorrow's going to be a sucky day because tomorrow I'm going to be at the office. I am on call this week, which means more work, more meetings, more tickets, more everything. And now my team is so tiny, I'm going to be on call every 3 weeks instead of every 8 weeks or so that I was before. And then eventually it went to 5 and 4, and now we're going to be at 3. So tomorrow and Tuesday, I'm going to be kind of local. I'm going to try to get a couple of visits to the casino. Hopefully one of those 2 days we can get some poker in as well, and try to keep pace to where we need to be to not fall further behind where we are already. Let's do our segments here real quick. What did you eat today, MW? Today I met with some family and had some steak, had some chicken, had some salad. Pretty good. Can't complain. Give it at least a 10 on a scale of 2 through ace. Enjoy seeing the family. Enjoy talking to everyone, even though our time is kind of short. When we do meet, it's only a couple hours. Wish it was more than that, but unfortunately it's not. And what did you tip today, MW? And I think I probably won maybe 5 hands today. That's it, as far as poker is concerned. So probably tipped $4 or $5 today. And as far as blackjack, $0. So keeping the tips low, which is what we need to do. Keeping aggressive in the poker. Let the numbers work themselves out eventually. We're going to keep trying to take good shots. Let me talk real quick about that poker hand that I won the $1,000 in. Some people might say that's a really bad hand to go all in with, but a couple things. Number one, both these players are not that great of players. One just shoots off like crazy, just trying to get everybody out. The other one didn't seem like he knew what he was doing at all. And assuming they did know what they were doing, I would assume that they're not going to go all in without some high cards, and I was right. I'd say 7 of their 8 cards were high, which means they had each other's cards, and I had a pair, I had a flush draw, so I had suited cards, I had a pair, and they were low, so I feel like I had a good shot at it. Definitely worth a 2-to-1 shot, and it worked out. So if I'm wrong, please tell me. I'll take criticism well. I want to learn, I want to get better. So, and what did you learn today, MW? Learning that, I'm getting my timing a little bit better. I'm not biting out more than I can chew, but still feel pretty hollow. Still feel like wasting a lot of time traveling, and wish that there was a way to put some more wins in there. And one thing I thought of today was maybe there might be some poker clubs in that long drive that I take all the time, or one of my long drives that I take all the time. If I can find a poker club that's open during that time that may have pot limit Omaha, then maybe I can take an extra shot on the way home. And even if it takes a couple hours at that spot, I won't be too late getting home, and may be able to prop up my bankroll, prop up my winnings, maybe add a couple $100 more a day. I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to learn, trying to do my best. And then I do know that this Wednesday I have to be home a little bit earlier because I have a live meeting I need to go to. So that's kind of a pain, but we'll leave a little bit earlier on Wednesday to make it home in time for that. So I think that's going to be it for today. Sorry, not the greatest, most exciting episodes. A few nice stories in there, but hopefully things will pick up a little bit. This episode was Saturday and Sunday. So for now, I'm going to let you go. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.